Welcome back to another video here at O.C.Tanner, where we help people thrive at work.
We know that you're very interested in the topic of one-piece flow. We want to demonstrate that today here in this production team called the Jade team.
So we're going to take a look around at what 30 years of improving our lean processes and improving our ideals of what one-piece flow looks like can do to an organization.
So we're going to take it to Lars, and he's going to show us how that's done. Okay, we are here in the Jade team. What we want to show today is one-piece flow. And I understand that you're supposed to produce about 150 pieces today.
That's correct.
And I don't believe it.
It does seem a little deceiving when you think that you want to produce a mass amount of something and you feel like you need a lot everywhere. But that's actually not the case, because we've found ways to where flow is more important than making sure we have a lot here.
Okay, so you've got 140 units that you're going to be producing today. But how do you figure out 140 units? How do you know whether you're on track? How do you know how many people you need?
Yeah.
Talk more about that.
So we share this board with our night shift. We're on top here, and this is our time bucket chart. So this is going to be what our goal is for the day, which is going to be 8 pieces per 15-minute time period. So on this side here is where we have abnormalities. And our abnormalities are literally anything that stops us from producing the work or stops us from actually getting anything out. And we write it on the board daily. And we write it when it happens, because as you can see, it's right next to a time mark. And then after we do this at the end of the day, we write it over on our weekly chart so we can keep track of the full week. And that way, by the end of the week, we have our team meeting, and then we're able to bring this in and discuss all of the abnormalities that we had throughout the full week in order to find a way to resolve those issues and have it not happen again. We are at 123. We're behind today because I've had quite a few meetings, and we've had people in training and a few other abnormalities that we've really struggled to work around. PDCA cycles. And this is basically our tests. So this is what we're going to do to try to mitigate whatever was recorded from the weeks before to make it so we can solve those problems. And we've learned that flowing through the processes with singular or maybe 2 cups makes it so it speeds through a lot quicker. It creates an actual flow rather than a batch movement to stations. So American Airlines is one of our biggest orders, and it's also one that we've done the most standardizing and testing on. And we can get that. The best we've got was 8 minutes.
8 minutes from beginning to end?
Beginning to end, yes. And that's our record when it comes to our efficiency on there. But usually on average, we're doing probably 11 to 16 minutes.
Let's take a look now at how that actually happens.
Yes, sure can.
So you're starting right here.
Yep.
This is where the cups are issued, and you're starting out with a little piece of scrap material.
Show you an example. So we got the scan right here, and it's going to pull up all of the information that I need for this order at this kitting station. And I'm going to hit the assign, and that's going to put the information onto that little circle right there, that ship. And then now we're able to see from here what we need to do with this process. This is the press process, and we have the capability to scroll down and look for our tool numbers and our die numbers and everything we need for this specific station here. This is going to be our trim station, same thing. It'll have trim, and it'll have our stamp area to what the stamp quality is going to be, which is 10K, and then the trim number on what we're going to have to do. And then after it's down here, this is comes to our drilling station, and our drilling station is going to tell us the size of drill bit we need to use and the sequence that we have to drill it in. And then after that's been drilled, we come over to this station. This is our wet sand and our bond. What we're doing is we're adding one of these little tie-tack pins on the back of the emblem, so you have the capability to put it on. And after that's been done, we come over to our pressure and sandblast. This is our pressure blast, which is a really, really fine sand that's going to give it a matted look so it's not shiny. And that's going to make it so the background of the emblem that doesn't get polished holds and looks a little bit different textured. And after the plating is done, we have a workup station, which we have somebody doing it right now, so we can go check that out. So what he's doing right now is he's using a wet brush just to brush the back of the emblem to change the color of it a little bit. And then once it's gone to the wet brush, we have our gumming station. And what we're doing is we're just covering the details. So I'm gonna poke it in here where it has the company logo, make sure everything's covered and the lines here. And that makes it so when you take it to your polishing person, they're not gonna hit anything that's in there. And we have a little card that we're just gonna wipe, 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 just like that. And then we're gonna throw it into our little gum oven. And as you can see, we have one for each one. So this is our one-piece flow through the gum oven. And after it's been gummed, we take it to our polishing station. And as you can see, it's all been polished except for the areas that has the gum in it. And that's very important because we wanna make sure that anything behind that barrier is not gonna get shiny or hit. And then after it's come here, we're at our setting station. And setting station is pretty similar to kitting because it's always going to be linked to a certain number because the stones are coming from the vault because these are genuine diamonds. Yeah, and then we're just buffing them. So let me show you, see how it's all dull and doesn't really have any shine to it. Now I'm gonna take it over here. And then that's how you want it to look. Nice and shiny. This is our CLR wash station. We have a solution that's it really digs deep into the detail so it can get all the gunk out of the emblem. And we have an electro bar that goes through there that actually adds electricity into it. So that way we're not having to like roll or rub around in there to get the stuff out. So if you point it right here, as soon as I touch that, it's gonna start coming off. Just like that. Gonna steam it up. Dry it off, and then that, if it had stones, would be ready for final assembly. Over here is our final assembly station, and this is where one of the most crucial parts of our job is we really need to pay attention to the information on the screen because that's going to tell us the customer it's going to, the company, what the emblem is, the quality of the metal, and what type of box we're using and what type of packaging we're going to use in order to ship it to the proper area or to the individual by themselves through domestic shipping.
Hey, that was a fantastic representation of one-piece flow. I think what's overwhelming is as you think about all the tiny little improvements to knock off more seconds and more seconds and more seconds. And I can see why a piece would only take less than 15 minutes to run through this line. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem.
This was a lot of fun.
Thank you, Josh.
Hey, Lars did such a great job demonstrating the flow of these cool emblems we're producing here in the line. And they're going to produce 140, and it's like magic. It just happens.
We're so glad that you got to check out this content today. If you want to see more, we do have another video on a demonstration of how one-piece flow works, not in the production line. And then we really hope to produce more. So please stick around, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and we hope to see you back.
Hey, welcome back to another video. Today, we know that you're pretty interested. Today we want to demonstrate exactly how that's done in a production environment.
So
I'm sorry.
You're